Movies of Epic Fail Part 2, 5 Girls. So it starts at a Catholic school, and there's this pretty little blonde girl dressed in Catholic school uniform, even though she's much too old to be in Catholic school. And then she's writing stuff, and then Ron Perlman, who's a priest, comes in. He's like, oh, darkness and light. And she's like, oh, light and darkness, I'm drawing demonic stuff. And then she's like, oh, it's Legion. And then he leaves, and then the room gets all dark and creepy, and it's kind of like The Exorcism of Emily Rose. She's like, you can't enter me, but then there's like blood everywhere, and she's gone. So then, 5 years later, Sarah Chalk lookalike named Alex goes to the penitentiary for girls, and she's there with 4 other unbelievably hot girls and Ron Perlman and this really, really hot German, like, headmistress woman who's all like, I whip you! And so then they're all like, oh, we're gonna take a blood test, and then they found out that they all have special powers, like, oh, one of the girls is blind and she can somehow read tarot cards, and one of them's a healer, and one of them's I don't know, she's a Wiccan slut, and then one of them's like, can walk through shit. And Alex, who's apparently the main one because she's blonde, is telekinetic. So then they're all like, oh, we're all here for a reason, but we're all bad girls and we're sluts, and then she feels them up everywhere. And then they're like, okay, well, we're gonna find out what's on the 3rd floor, because they're not supposed to go on the 3rd floor. So they go on the 3rd floor, and there's a giant pentagram, and then they're all forced to go on the pentagram, and you found out that the German woman, that the headmistress is actually doing their sort of like curse thing to bring the little blonde girl back from the beginning, and so she's always like, give 5 girls for Legion, and then they're all like, oh no, what's going to happen to us? And then blood flies into them randomly, and then they're like, oh no, we're hurt. Okay, what happened? And so then one of then this brunette one is all like, oh no, I'm really scared, I bruise easily, I'm really hurt. So then she's in the bathtub with another girl, and oh, I forgot, Alex gets whipped in the butt. Anyway, so they're in the bathtub, and she's with another girl, and the other girl's listening to her iPod, and she's not going on, and then the other girl gets naked and kills her. And then the girl that dies comes back to life, and she's got Legion inside of her, and then she goes and tries to seduce Ron Perlman, but then kills him instead. And then she goes into the blind girl who can see, and then walks around, and then the brunette girl and the alive brunette girl and Sarah Chalk make a chalk circle, and they're like, oh no, what are we going to do? And then the brunette girl, who's a healer, heals her ass, and then they kiss. And then the blind girl is like, oh no, I'm totally not Legion, and then she's like, oh wait, I am Legion. And then she goes and they kill each other, and then there's blood everywhere, and then they're like, no, wait, we're trying to bring the girl back. But then they're like, no, you can't bring the girl back, that's Legion. And so then they run out, and then Legion comes out of her face, and then she stabs the other woman in the face, and then they get stabbed with crosses. And then the girl comes back, and she's like, oh, I'm alive, but then she gets killed by the demon. The only good things about this movie are the soundtrack, which is really good, I suggest you buy it, and Ron Perlman, I love him.